Kevin, just welcome to Rangers first and foremost. How has your first week in the role been?
Yeah, first week's been great. It's been very busy, as you would imagine. Lots of work to do, lots of opportunities to visit Ibrox and visit the training facility, get to start talking to people. Obviously, appointment of a new head coach today, so we've had a bit going on. But it's nice to at last get my feet underneath the table. I'm very much looking forward to working forwards.
Yeah, what was it about Rangers that was so attractive at this stage in your career?
I mean, it was an easy decision, truth be known. Rangers is a huge football club, and I've been very, very lucky on many occasions to visit here as part of scouting and recruitment. And for me, it's an incredible football club. It's an incredible opportunity. Our reality is that we've been in a low moment for a little while now. The opportunity to flip that ship is something that's worth fighting for, which I'm very much looking forward to. And then clearly, Ibrox is a very, very special place to watch football or to play football. And my view is if we can be successful here, then it'd be amazing to be able to give the fans back something that they've been craving for so long. Yeah,
we're obviously speaking after the appointment of a new head coach. Why was Russell Martin the right candidate for the club?
Yeah, so I'll probably start by saying we went through quite a diligent and thorough process and tried to use the time that we had at our disposal to the very best opportunity. And right from the very start, it was clear to me and the other guys who were involved in the process that Russell was the standout candidate. He was outstanding, effectively. He's had a lot of experience now as a manager and a head coach. And over the course of that career, I think it's clear to see that he's sharpened that approach and his method, in terms of technical, tactical, and also from a personal perspective. I'm delighted that he's agreed to join us. And I'm very, very much looking forward to working with him, and also excited that the fans are going to see something that's going to be strong out on the pitch.
Yeah, how involved have you been in the process in recent months, despite obviously not formally starting until earlier this week?
Yeah, well, probably first and foremost, I should probably say that I'm very grateful to Everton Football Club for allowing me some time to play a part in the initial process. So Patrick and I have been working very closely together to make sure that the process was as thorough and as diligent and as stringent as it possibly could be. And now we're at the point where we've been able to appoint Russell, and we're very, very pleased with the outcome.
And why have you chosen a head coach as opposed to a manager?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. And it's a question that gets asked a lot, isn't it? But from my perspective, the job of a manager is a very, very difficult one. And it's clear from my perspective that managers or head coaches need a lot of support. We wanted Russell to focus on the most important bit, which was preparation of the team, performance of the team, and fundamentally the results. And then for the sporting director, me, to work on all of the bits that surround that team to make it as successful as it possibly can, all of those support services, medical, sports science, coaching, etc., etc. And we believe that by working closely together in that way and having expertise that's very focused on those important bits, will hopefully help us to be more successful.
Yeah, just obviously with your arrival earlier this week, what would that mean in terms of staff changes in the football department?
It's clear that there's a lot of good people working at Rangers Football Club, and there's a lot of good work that's been going on. So from my perspective, I'm very much looking forward to getting to know people better, understanding what the big issues are, department by department, working with people, talking to people about some of those situations, and then finding ways that we can work together to help us to create better provision effectively. The better the support that we can create off the pitch, the stronger we'll be on it. And so it'll be very much about us sitting down and working together as a group of people to strive towards that.
Yeah, and it was also confirmed earlier this week that Nils Coppin will depart the club in his role as technical director, and he's replaced by someone you know well, Dan Purdy. How will that transition look?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I'd like to place on record our deepest thanks to Niels for the work that he's done previously, and also the way in which he's supporting us still. Clearly, the technical director role is an important one, and that's why we recruited Dan Purdy to the role. I didn't actually believe that Dan would be available to us, because once he decided that he was going to leave Everton, there was a lot of interest in him. But I'm delighted that we've been able to secure him. He's going to be completely focused on recruitment across all of our teams, and I'm sure he's going to do an excellent job.
Just in terms of recruitment, there has obviously been an emphasis at the club in recent years about signing young players with a sell-on value. How much will this still be the strategy, but balanced against, obviously, the need to sign more experience in the team?
Let's be clear, we know what the job is. The job is that we need to win, and we need to win today. There's no doubt about that. So, of course, if you want to win today, you have to get some balance in the playing group and the playing squad that you put together. But it's not just about winning today, it's also about winning tomorrow. It's about sustaining success. And so if you want to do that, you have to recruit young, hungry players that are developed within the football club. And you also need to develop an appropriate training plan. You know, every good football club needs to have the ability to develop players, sell for profit, return on investment, etc., which helps the team to not only win today when those boys are playing, but then also the reinvestment of those finances back into the team. So it's going to be a balance is probably the key word from my perspective. I understand that it can't be too young a team, but neither can it be too old, and we need to find a way of doing a number of things all in one space. So that's what we'll be trying to do. We understand what the job is and what we need to do, which is to win. But we also need to know that we need to make sure we sustain that.
You also oversee the development of the club's academy. It's an area where there has been quite high staff turnover in recent years. What does sort of success look like in terms of the club's youth structure?
I'd start by saying it's very difficult for me to talk about what's happened in the past or the current status of the academy. What I can say is this, is that my background is first and foremost in academy and academy management. I've been a head of youth and an academy manager for different clubs. I regard young players as being very, very important to any plan, not just this plan. So we'll be working as hard as we possibly can to get very close to the academy, understand what the issues are there, and very quickly start to build that academy, support that academy to be as strong as it possibly can be. And you're back to this succession piece, you're back to this winning piece. If you're going to continue to win over a period of time, then young players have to be an important part of that process. So creating clear pathways, creating clear opportunities, getting young players to understand that they can have a future here and giving them chances to play in the first team are all going to be big things that are on the agenda going forwards.
You also have oversight in terms of the club's women's department. I mean, how do you view that area at present?
We want all of our teams to be successful, don't we? So from my perspective, it's really, really important that we take a good look at what the quality of the provision is in the academy, in the women's team, also in the men's team, and then understand what great looks like, what the standard is and what it needs to be, and then start to build a plan that helps us to create some synergy across all of those teams, make the provision better, stronger, and then hopefully get the teams to improve and give them the very best chance to win. And the women's team have obviously had some great success this season. We want to try and build on that. And so I'll be working very, very closely with the women's team and the staff to see whether we can support them and continue that success and get even greater success.
Yeah, just lastly, it is obviously the start of a new chapter here at Rangers. What does success look in the short term and the long term for the club?
Well, clearly we need to win, don't we? And we're all committed to that. And so I would hope that people would see that we're starting to build a group of people that are capable of delivering that. And so it's very interesting to listen to Russell in his press conference, and he's dead right. We're all going to be all in to hopefully get Rangers in a spot whereby they start to win again, win trophies, win silverware, and get back on top.